Okay, well, welcome to the Monday night team call. This is Steve Bentley. I'm sitting here with Michelle Bellavine, and it is Monday, February the 6th. I can't remember it's February. I can't believe it's February already. So we've got some special guest on the call tonight. It's Alvie, Shepard, and Beatrice Velez Amadeo is going to be introducing Alvie in just a second. But I just want to thank everybody for getting onto the call, or if you're not on the call live, you're listening to the recording. I know a lot of people pick that up afterwards. It's going to be a great call, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm just going to, already in recording, so I'm just going to put myself on mute. And Beatrice, the call is all yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Steven. So, first of all, I'm super excited to introduce our grand prize winner, Alvie Shepard. I'm super excited about that. He was former 1995 Baltimore Orioles first round draft pick out of the University of Nebraska. Alvie played 3 seasons with the O's and had to retire due to an injury at age 24. He hit rock bottom after 13 years of school and drug abuse, when he ended up fighting for his life in the hospital after suffering a ruptured brain aneurysm. Prayers are answered, as the aneurysm was a blessing. His second chance has been incredible, and he's taking control of his life again. Married his beautiful wife, Rachel, and has 2 gorgeous children, son Kingston and daughter Braven. IsaGenics has been another huge blessing in his life. He'll tell you more about that. Please welcome to our call the 2016 IsaBody Challenge Grand Prize winner, Alvie Shepard.
Woo! How's it going, everybody? Good. So, yes, I appreciate you having me on the call. It's been a pretty incredible 2.5 years, to be honest with you. I didn't see this about 3 years ago. I would have never have dreamt of where I am at today. And that's why I always tell people to never give up on themselves, because it's such a mindset that will keep you where you're at when you have that giving up moment. So you got to surround yourself with people that, uplift you and bring the best out of you. And that's what I've done with IsaGenics. And so do you guys mind if I tell you my story?
Please.
All right. So,
Please.
As you just heard, I was, I grew up a baseball, football, basketball player. I was always at the fields. My dad was my coach for a majority of my, my youth. And, I really enjoyed being out in the field with my friends. And so that was something that was really burned into my heart and a passion for what I love to do. And I remember about the age of 12, I went to my first baseball game with my dad, and it was at the old Comiskey Park where the White Sox played. And, my dad grew up a White Sox fan, so of course I followed in his footsteps for a while. But, I just remember being at that game and just looking out in the field and just being like, wow, I want to be on that field. I was in the farthest seat, farthest away from the home plate. We were in dead center field, as farthest way you can go. It was like Lady Gaga last night, was on top of the stadium. That's about how far we were out there. And but it was magic to me. It was just magical watching what was going on in the field. So it really burned into my brain that I really wanted to be a professional athlete. So, I worked hard, and my high school career was pretty solid, and I played those 3 sports, and I excelled in them all, and I ended up having some scholarship offers for football and also baseball, some small D2s for basketball, but I really chose to do the baseball route because I thought I would be healthier. It would be a healthier choice, instead of getting ran over by 380-pound linemen, I'd be able to throw and strike people out and do all that kind of good stuff. So I ended up getting a scholarship to the University of Nebraska. Very huge honor. It was a dream come true, for one, because, my parents, obviously, we were, a lower class, family. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money. And to get that scholarship offer was definitely a huge burden off my parents' back. And it was something that, I shot for. I wanted it. And so I got a full ride to University of Nebraska, and I went there and had a great education, great college experience. And 3 years into my college career, I got drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, which is that jersey you see behind me over there, in the 1995 draft. I was the 21st pick chosen of that draft. So out of all of the the United States, I was 21st pick. And so it was a huge honor. And it was something that it really just made everything that I had wanted to come true at that point in my life. It was just a dream come true. So I went into it with all my passion, with all my heart, and I worked hard. And, and being a former first-round pick or being a first-round pick in any sport, you have a lot of pressure on you, not so much because of other people, but from yourself. I mean, you want to be the best. I mean, you have, people that are always comparing you to others and everything else. And just like we all are today, right? People compare each other to other people, and it's really robbing yourself of your own special talents. But that's what we did. And so, a couple of years into my career, I got injured. It was something that it was unexpected. It wasn't something that I saw coming. I just got through pitching, a 7-inning, one hit gem. Then 2 days later, I'm on the shelf, and I couldn't pitch anymore that year. That was supposed to be my call-up year. It was August 23rd, and it was September 1st was our call-up. So I had like 8 days left before I was supposed to get called up to the big leagues. So that was a huge blow. I mean, that was something that, being a lifelong, fan and just having so much passion for the sport, and then just being right there at that cusp of being up there in the big leagues and playing the sport I love, it just got kind of yanked out from under me. And so, but I worked hard. I said, you know what, that's fine. I'm going to be fine. So I worked my butt off that off season. They told me I had an option: get surgery or go ahead and rehab it. And I said, well, I'm not going to, if I don't have to get surgery, I'm going to go ahead and rehab it. So I rehabbed. I came back better than ever. I was throwing 98 again. And then sure enough, I tweaked my elbow and my shoulder went back again, and I had to get surgery anyway. So that was tough. So I worked hard, got back from surgery, and then I fumbled around with 2 more teams. I got cut from the Orioles, which is a huge blow to me and my psyche, because I felt like I let them down. They put over $2 million of money into me, to not only for the signing bonus, but also for grooming me, so to speak, with the winter leagues and everything else. So that was a huge mental blow for me that I let them down. And then, I fumbled around with 2 other teams, the Angels and the Mets. And then I had to hang it up at 24 years old. That was bad. I mean, that was a bad, thing going on. That really hung up my life card, and I hung it up, and I started doing some bad things with my health and started drinking a lot. To mask the pain and the depression, and I started doing some drugs, and I just got caught up, and I couldn't get out of it. It was a really vicious circle of drug and alcohol abuse, and it was very sad to me. I still get emotional when I talk about it now, because it was tough. There was times when I wanted to commit suicide. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going on in my head that was positive at that time, and I went on that ride for years. For years, I was very depressed and had those thoughts that creeped in and out. And so, luckily, I started praying, and it was the best thing I ever did was start to pray, because it really brought my spirits back up. And even though I was still in the rut, I just knew that someone was listening. I knew he was listening to me, and I had some signs that he was. And then I finally told him a couple months before I had my brain aneurysm. I told him, I said, "Listen, Lord, do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, please, I need your help." And sure enough, I had my brain aneurysm. And that was a blessing. And I really took it as that too, because when I woke up from my surgery, I just said, thank you so much. And it's going to be different now. I'm going to change my life and live up to my potential. And so I went on my way, and my mind was free of the guilt of the depression that I had put myself through for all those years of not living up to what I was supposed to live up to, and in my head. And I got rid of all that garbage, and I started living for myself, the Lord, and because I wanted a family. I wanted to have a family again. Not again. I want to have a family, because I hadn't had any kids yet. I wasn't married. I was dating my now wife for about 8 years, and just living a secondary life that she didn't even know about, because I was so ashamed of what I was doing. And when I got that second chance, it all came out. I spilled the beans on what was going on, and I apologized. And I love my wife so much for sticking with me, because she could have walked. And we've had a beautiful, 2-year-old Kingston son, and a daughter that's now 9 months old, Braven. And it's really been a huge blessing in my life. And during that process, obviously, Isagenix came into my life. And Isagenix has been another huge blessing. It's been one after another, one blessing after another. You know, I had my son. My son was, 4 months into my son's my wife's pregnancy with my son. I started Isagenix, and so the last 5 months of his before he got born, I was taking Isagenix. My wife was drinking the shakes, and so I knew that he was getting great nutrition through my wife, and that made me a happy man. And of course, I had goals, man. I was on fire. I was like, all right, I have to be the best role model I could ever be for my son. I'm going to make sure that, he looks up to me. And so I started working on myself and getting my body in the best shape possible. And I just let that be my driving force, my why. And so after my son was born, of course, I was already in my second IsaBody challenge at that point. My first IsaBody challenge, I just kind of skipped through there. I was about 45 days into my Isagenix journey. I had already lost quite a bit of weight, 45 pounds or so up to that point. And I was already to my skinny weight, to be honest with you. I had lost a total of 85 pounds, 40 of it on my own, and then 45 of it with Isagenix. And then I decided, okay, now I want to get big. I want to get buff. I want to build some muscle. I want to get better than I was when I played pro ball. So I started the IsaBody challenge, and in that process, I started putting on muscle. The AMP series came out. That was the best thing ever. I started really using the AMP products, and I've put on 50 pounds of muscle. I got all the way down to 223, which is what I weighed in high school, and I've since put on 50 pounds of muscle. I'm about 270 right now, and it's I'm about 10% body fat, so it's not 270 and fluffy. But it's because I worked hard and I've really believed in these products and they work. And so after my first IsaBody challenge, I didn't win it. So I didn't get anything, a call or anything. So that kind of disappointed me, but I didn't let that stop me. That's when it actually fired me up even more. But that second IsaBody challenge was actually right whenever I went to meet my IsaFan for the first time out in Celebration. I'd already been I signed up about a couple weeks before that celebration, and I had been already on Isagenix now for about a year, and I went to this celebration, and I want to meet all my awesome friends like you guys, and wanted to celebrate and have fun. And so when I was there, I went out and had some meals I wouldn't have normally eaten whenever I was trying to get my body to win an IsaBody challenge, and I kind of got sidetracked a little bit. I'm human, and so the first 2 months of that IsaBody challenge, my second one, I kind of I was working hard in the gym, but I didn't dial in my diet. The second 2 months of that challenge, I crushed it. I looked better in my second challenge than I did my first, for sure. But again, no call or nothing. So that pissed me off. That was when I was like, all right, I don't deserve it. I didn't deserve it because I didn't give it 100%. Now it's on. So I remember doing a video, and I said, listen, I didn't get the call. So I tell you right now, it's fire. This is me. This is my phone I'm looking into here. I did a video, and I'm like, it's going to fire me up. I guarantee you that I win the IsaBody challenge next year. Mark my words. And I put it on Facebook, and I meant it. I said it and I meant it. I put it in the universe, and I worked my butt off. I figured if I'm going to put something like out there that bold, then I better follow through with it. And so it made me really hold myself accountable, and I worked my tail off. I mean, I was in the gym countless hours. And I was eating properly. I didn't mess around. That third challenge was mine to win. And so I really went for it. And then, of course, as you all know, I got chosen as a finalist and met all the other amazing finalists. Any one of them could have won it. Any one of us. I mean, we all have amazing stories. Everyone's a winner that joins the IsaBody challenge. If you haven't joined one, please get on. It's great for yourself to give you a little bit of motivation, a little bit more of a push. And it's something that really helped all the finalists for sure, and all the ones that even didn't make finalists or honorable mention, they're all winners because they've moved forward. It's about progress, not perfection. We just happened to get called up to the stage. So when I won the IsaBody challenge, it was a dream come true in a lot of ways, because I felt like I kind of like it was a full circle from when I got drafted to the pros. And I felt even better whenever I won the IsaBody challenge than when I got drafted in the first round by the Baltimore Orioles. I know that sounds weird, but I did. I felt better because I knew it wasn't just about me. It was about everyone that helped not only myself get to that point, but it was about all the people that I helped along the way, coaching them to their own goals as well. It was not a selfish act. It was a selfless act of kindness that people gave to me and that I gave to others. And it was very gratifying. I really felt a lot of love when I was up on that stage. And it meant a lot to me that I was able to have my family come up there, my wife and my son and my daughter. You know, my wife's a trooper. She had my one kid in the front, the one kid in the back. If you were there, you would have seen it. It was amazing. She's walking around with the tulip thing, and you know, the one in the front, one in the back. And you know, I took my daughter, and that infamous picture with me pointing up to the Lord and with my daughter in my hand. That picture will go down. That'll be my wall of, you know, that's the highlight of my life, really, to be honest with you. Having my family up on stage with me and my daughter in my arms, and my son and my wife next to me on that stage. It was really a victory of life. It wasn't a victory of IsaBody challenge. To me, it was a victory of life because I really felt I took my life back. So that's my story.
That's truly an inspiration, Alvie. You are so humble and inspiring to all of us. So
thank you.
We have a couple of questions. I have a couple of questions.
All right.
What were you before Isagenics? Like, what were you doing?
Right. Well, it's so before Isagenics, okay, right? So I had my issues with the drugs and alcohol, my aneurysm, and that was my wake-up call. Right after that, when I told you, I said thank you, and I said I'm getting after it. So I actually just got on Facebook at that point. I was so disconnected with the world. I had a group of friends that I hung out with and you know, partied with, and I shut myself off to a lot of, you know, people that, you know, meant a lot to me. And so I reconnected. I got on Facebook and I opened up an account and I said, you know, I started friending all my people that I'm like, oh, there they are, there he is, there she is. And I had started building up my friend list. And when I was able to start working out again, because after my aneurysm, I couldn't move my neck for a while. It was pretty bad. I mean, I was pretty, you know, and also my groin, because they had to do the angiogram through my groin. So I had some soreness there. So I had a little bit of recovery time. So after about 2 months, I was able to start working out again. And so then I started doing, cardio, and just started with a simple cardio, you know, and I don't even think I messed with the weights for probably a good month. I might have dabbled a little bit, but it was more about cardio. So I got on that treadmill and I just started slow jogging, you know, 307 pounds, just loving life. It's on now, jogging around and getting my life back. And I just had that zest again. And so I took pictures, and this is like, again, before Isagenics, you know, I didn't know that this was all going to come to this, but, you know, I started recording things. You know, I recorded my picture with my selfie gun and, you know, saying, yes, you can. You know, those are things I was doing before Isagenics, because it was something that I wanted to keep myself accountable again. So I just started working out, and I started eating cleaner foods. You know, I still had my occasional mess up, you know, beef sandwiches and stuff like that, but very seldomly, because I'm going to do it. So I ended up, you know, doing that for about 8 months. About 2 months in, though, and this is probably one of your other questions, who introduced me to Isagenics. You know, about 2 months in, one of my former teammates, okay, for the Baltimore Orioles, his name was Darren Hooper. Him and I were frickin' frack. We used to hang out all the time, and great guy. And he saw that when I had friended him when I first got back on Facebook, or when I got on Facebook, and we started, you know, getting a dialogue. Well, I kept seeing him with his shirt off and just boom, he just stacked. I mean, I'm like, man, I'm sitting here beer belly, and so I actually remembered finally. I was like, we always were sarcastic with each other when we played together. So I just said one day, I go, you know, I typed in there, do you ever wear a shirt? Funny, right? Because look at me now, right? So, but his girlfriend, who is my coach, Jen Lee McCaskill, she's my actual coach for Isagenics. She's a spitfire. You don't mess with Jen Lee. So she actually got on and said, don't be hating on my man because he looks great. I'm like, whoa, no. He's actually inspiring me. What the heck is he doing? And so she's like, oh, okay. So we ended up, that's how we first met. You know, she got all over me for giving him crap. So I told her, listen, they told me about Isogenics, and I said, listen, this was like 2 months in of my working out. And I said, listen, if I get stuck, I'll get back to you. It sounds great, but let me get myself in, you know, my own way, and then I'll get back to you. So I did. 8 months later, I got stuck, and for 2 months I didn't budge. And my goal was to get down to a certain weight, and I was 25 pounds shy of that, and I was not going to stop. So I called him back. I said, all right, what's this Isogenics thing? You know, and so that was the best call ever, because I got on board that day and signed up with his girlfriend, and she told me what to do. I said, you know what? I just want to lose the weight. So I'm not going to share it right now. I'm not going to share this right now. I just want to do me right now. I want to get my weight down. So that's what I told her. And she's like, okay, no problem. If you ever change your mind, let me know. So I actually signed up as a preferred customer. Go figure, huh? Because I was skeptic about, you know, the whole thing and the social security number and all that. I was just, I don't know about all that. So 5 days later, 5 whole days, I lost a significant amount of weight. I felt like a bomb went off in my head about that 5th day. Like, wow, I feel amazing. All right, I got to call her. So I called her back, and I'm like, what is in this stuff? Man, I'm already down X amount of weight, and I feel amazing. I go, how do I share this? You told me something about sharing this. I want to get my mom on this, my sister, my 2 cousins need this. I have a whole bunch of family members that could use this. I need to be able to share this. What do I need to do? And she told me, she's like, all right, do you want to just get your family healthy, which is great, or do you want to do this as a full-time, like a business? I'm like, well, business, why not? Why not go all in? I love it. So she told me, just you have to be committed 100%, you know, so go on Facebook, just exactly how you just told me, the exact excitement that you just talked to me in, make some posts like that and do it every day. I'm like, every day? You know, first thing I thought of was, oh, my friends are going to think I'm crazy. You know, all my friends are going to give me crap. Before I could even say it, she goes, and don't worry about what your friends think, because your friends aren't paying your bills and you're going to be helping a lot of people. And I just said, okay, that makes sense. So I did. So I've shared it every day since August 6th of 2014. I've been on Facebook every day, and Instagram more recently, and other LinkedIn, and it's something I truly believe in. I mean, it's changed my life significantly and changed so many people. I have some close friends that I signed up that have lost over 100 pounds, 80 pounds. My mom's lost 42. She just finished her first 2-day cleanse in 2 years, which was a huge thing for her yesterday. She just finished. So I was very proud of my mom. And it just changed my whole family's dynamic. I mean, I'm so blessed, and I'm so thankful for Jim, Kathy, and Eric Hoover, and John Anderson, and the ISA fam, all of you. I mean, you've all been a part of my journey, just like I hope I've been a part of yours. So.
So it took you 8 months to decide Isogenics.
Yeah, 8 months.
Wow, and then after that, 5 days to feel like the change.
5 days. My day 5, I was like, what is in this? You know, my first 2 days were rough. I'll be honest with you. You know, my first 2 days were rough. I had a little bit of a headache. I was a little bit, you know, but my coach told me, you're going to have first 2 days are going to be your toughest days. And so I'm like, all right, I could tough it out. She's like, you might get a headache. You might, you know, things, you know, you're going through some changes. So I'm like, all right. So she told me. So I was, you know, when I started having those things happen, it didn't surprise me. So I was like, all right. And that's the way I coach now too. I always tell everyone that joins my team, listen, the first 2 days, you're going to probably say, what the heck did you get me into, Alvie? You know, you might be like that, or you might not have any problems. I've had several people that have had no problems whatsoever the first 2 days. They're fine. It really just depends on the person. And so, but that's what she told me. And I did. I had some issues the first 2 days. And by that 4th day, 3rd day, I was fine. 4th day, I felt darn good. And then 5th day, I was like, all right, hallelujah.
Why did you end up choosing Isogenics?
Why did I end up choosing it? Just, you know, I just trusted my friend. You know, I wanted something. And what really appealed to me was lifestyle. Because my lifestyle sucked before I started changing my ways. I had a crappy lifestyle. I was living on alcohol and bars and drugs, and it wasn't what I wanted in my life. So I think what really hit home with me was the fact that I could have a healthy lifestyle. And that's what really hit home to me. And the fact that it was a friend of mine that I trusted. I was a roommate, a teammate, a roommate. And, and I just, knew he was shooting from the hip. He was shooting straight with me. He wasn't telling me a bunch of BS. So I trusted him.
So what do you tell people? I mean, like, of course they have to trust you. Like, there is a lot of objections.
Oh yeah.
This is a scam, or
right.
That's fake, or you're trying to get me to sell, or
right.
What do you do?
Right. Well, I mean, when I talk to someone about IsaGenics, I paint a picture. What worked for me when I was signing up was that Jen and Darren painted a picture for me, and then you go to these events and they tell you the same thing. You got to paint a picture for what's going on, because most people's pictures are not very good when they're starting, because they're not where they want to be. They're not happy with something. They're not happy with their weight, or they want to gain weight, or whatever it is. They're just not happy. So you have to paint a picture, a solid picture of hope, and it's real though, because I know how I feel, and I know that it's because I'm taking these products, and my mindset is where it is because I feel amazing. So I feel very comfortable painting a picture of just amazing things, and like where you can be physically, where you could be, mentally, financially, if you just, go with, if you believe and trust in the process. And so, I really paint that picture right away about trusting the process, and that, these products are there's third-party research that proves what we have is working for everybody, including professional, Olympic, and, any kind of athlete as well. So it's not just for one type of person. So I really just paint that picture and kind of just dispel any kind of, negative, comments that they might have before they even mention them. Because, when I paint that picture, I make it nice and beautiful and broad, and I make sure that I cover all the grounds that possibly could be a objection or rejection.
So it's basically, like you said, all about trust.
Yeah.
So having said all that, for the people who are sharing, who are interested in sharing what we have, what's your best tip?
Okay, be vulnerable. All right, be vulnerable. Listen, we all have skeletons. We all have had things in our past that we're not proud of. Some more than others. All right? But what people will find appealing and more attractive about you is if you can be vulnerable and let people in. Your story matters. And it might hurt to talk about it, but I tell you what, it hurts a lot more to keep it in, because that's what's eating you alive inside. So what I've done that's really been effective, and I don't want to say effective, but it's been effective, is that I've let people in. I've let people in onto what's been going on in my mind and what's happened with me in my life. And that's not hard. I mean, sorry, that's not easy. That's not easy to do, because when you're telling people that you did drugs, you did alcohol, and it's not easy. You know what? I mean, listen, I work with kids. I coach young adults and kids in baseball. And I took a big chance when I came out and told my story. And I've lost some clients. There's no doubt in my mind I've lost some clients because of it. But I'm okay with that, because you know what? I'm helping a lot of people. And that's what means a lot to me, is that even though I might lose a client or two here, because they might have seen my story and maybe they don't want their son or daughter being coached by a person that used to do drugs or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. And I can respect that, but me, I'm okay with that. I can go to bed at night knowing that I put it out there because I know someone needs to hear it. Someone needs that inspiration. Someone wants that inspiration. They want that, positive outcome that can happen if they really want and put their mind to it. So that's why I do what I do. So if I would say that, be vulnerable. Don't keep your story, frog tight. All right, you got to let it out a little bit. All right, you let it out, because that's going to make people understand that you are human and that you have faults too. And you know what? People will get behind people that have faults because then they don't feel so damn bad about themselves.
Being real is a good thing.
Be real. Exactly. Be real. Just be real. Don't be so worried about what people think, because listen, you're going to help a lot of people, because where you're going and where you were at are two different places. You know, just know where you're going, not where you are or were, where you're going.
Perfect. We have a couple of minutes left, but before that, I wanted to ask you, because we all have a 30-second story. So I wanted to ask you, what's your 30-second story? I know you already, went through your whole.
I just gave you a 30-minute story.
30-second story.
Take 30 seconds of that. There it is. I mean, I would just say that, listen, before Isagenix, I was a train wreck. I was abusing my body and my mind, and I got introduced to an amazing program, Isagenix, from a good former teammate of mine, the Baltimore Orioles, and I felt good about what he had to say and jumped on board. And now I have my passion back for life. I feel amazing, and I get to share this amazing lifestyle with my family and all my loved ones and friends, and it makes me happy.
Sounds very good. I'm gonna have Steven wrap up the call, and I don't know, maybe ask you some more questions if you want to.
Thanks so much, Alvie. Thanks so much, Beatrice. Alvie, that was fantastic. I really appreciate you getting on the call tonight. And I'm just going to do a quick screen share here because I want everybody to see you winning your grand prize here, because it's just like phenomenal.
I want to take a picture too. Yeah, go ahead.
There it is. Look at that. I'll go in a second, but somebody was asking how tall you were, and I was like, I don't know. He's way taller than me, though.
6'7".
I looked you up online. I said 6'7".
Right. 6'6.5", 6'7". Give or take a few centimeters.
It's 200 centimeters. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, right.
Pull it back off here so you can get a screen.
I want to get a shot of everybody on the screen. And do me a favor if you would. Can you put the regular screen back up?
Yeah, I'm going to pull that right back up in a second.
Thank you. All right. If everyone would do me a favor, if you would. I have that yes you can. I mean that. When I do that, when you see that on my posts, what that means, it's not some wacky gun thing. It's what it means is yes you can. I started doing that before Isagenix, and that's what it meant to me. I never put really a tag on it until after one of my teammates asked me and said, "What do you mean when you do that?" And I said, well, I mean, yes, you can. And immediately, that's what I said. I mean, yes, you can. If I can do that coming from addiction and everything else, then yes, you can. And so that's what it means to me. So if you guys would be so kind, would you guys all do that to the screen? Maybe tilt it a little bit to the side so they can see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a picture. And I appreciate it. I'll do it too. Let me see here. I get that. All right, ready? All right, 1, 2, and 3. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Right on.
So I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Alvie, thank you so much for getting on our team call. We really appreciate your time. We know you got to get ready for your team call tonight.
Yeah, I love team. One team, baby. One team. Right, I remember that. This company's amazing, and all of you know that already. This company's amazing. We have our leaders, meaning the Cougars and John Anderson and all of us are leaders in our own right. So just know that we are right where we want to be. Let's just keep pushing, and let's keep sharing this amazing system with the world. All right?
Thanks so much, Alvie.
Right. Take it easy, guys. Have a great night.
Yes, you can.
Good night. Thank you.
Yes, you can. Take care.